Howdy folks, I've got a cup and a half of dead on swim bait blend right here. We're making a Slayer color, alright, which is a neon blue over a light pearl. I'm going to cook these to 350, I usually run them by 360. And you want to stir it when you check with the gun. Just don't pull them out and shoot it. For some of y'all guys just getting started, don't just pull out the microwave and go, alright, 350. Stir it and then check it. Because you'll find out it's hotter on top sometime, and when you stir it, it'll be 330. It needs to be 350 all the way through, okay, for it to gel, for it to get that firmness after you make them, all right? Then we'll mix the coloring up. I'll run them through the vacuum chamber, reheat them back to about 335, and then we'll shoot the molds. It's a little chilly today. It's like 60 degrees, but it got down to about 50 last night. My molds feel really cold in the gun. I got them on the griddle behind you, and I'm heating them up, getting them warmed up too. It helps when everything is warm. When you suck up this hot plastic to a cold injector, it starts gelling faster. It starts cooling off faster. If everything is warm, you get a better fill out on these little tails. Okay? Alright guys, let's get to it. Alright guys, we're gonna get her shot right here now. And that took a while, guys. I know it wasn't but a little bit for y'all, but that took about half an hour. Time I cooked them, cleaned them. All right. Time I cooked them, cleaned them, reheated them, get them back within a couple degrees. You want to be at least 5 degrees apart. One of them was 335, one was 332, and I went with it. So you need to get them in that area. You get too cold, it sets up in your gun. Alright, so yeah, you play with it more. Listen here, wants to suck down, and then you watch for that. Now they don't need to be completely full. Listen here, still going down. What it is cooling. As it cools, it shrinks. You can, I'll tell you a secret that nobody else tells you. When you pull the raw plastic in here, alright, got some plastic is there. Let's say you pour the plastic to this line, to a cup perfectly. Alright, the raw plastic, the plastisol. You put it in the microwave and cook it, it'll move up above that mark. It swells up and it fills your cup more. You'll gain, hey, you won't gain an ounce in that one cup, but you'll gain some. It'll be above that mark a good little bit. So when you put them in a mold, it reverses that. As it cools, it shrinks. That's what causes the divots and that kind of stuff and the little dents in them. And I don't care what you do, you're going to have a dent every now and then. I've got baits laying here now, okay? All these baits is playing here, they have dents in them. And I've said this many times, I'm in the neighborhood here on the lakefront subdivision. A lot of young people in here. I see them come out on the golf carts. It's also, we have a golf course. A lot of kids will come out on the golf carts and they'll go down and fish right down the end of the road. I'm on the road that goes to the lake, all right? And they stop and talk to me sometimes. I know quite a few of the young men. I'll give them baits. Hey, go get a handful of this, get a handful of that. Somebody come to visit me the other day, and I took a few of each one of them, gave them to them in a bag. So, but they have a dent in them or something, or they didn't come out. I guess it was Blue Moon. Okay, the Chaos 2. Yeah, it got more chartreuse, didn't it, than it did the blue. Well, that's not going to hurt the bite. The fish will still bite it, right? But I can't sell them to y'all like that. I'm not going to. So I give those away. And if I don't find somebody to give them to by end of summer, I'll throw them back in the remelts. Because what I do is all the scraps, I remelt them and try to make a bass bait with them or try to make something with them. Guys, I say this many times. I'm sitting here looking back and going, wow. I probably got 30 bags, yeah, of scrap. A lot of y'all guys make baits. What do you do with your scraps? Tell me in the comments. When you have all these scrap left over from the runners and all that, what do you do with all those scraps? Alright guys, unlock that mold. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, this is always interesting, isn't it? Like blue side's coming out this side. Wow. See how that neon blue just kind of glows, doesn't it? Now it's not a blue that you can see through it. If you look hard, yeah, you can see through it. It's got firecracker flake in it, which is red, white, and blue. Okay, it's the azure color. And some baits by itself is called azure. There you go. Can you see? I'm coming a little closer. I know sometimes it gets blurry. Yeah, you can see the flake in it. Isn't that pretty? You see the belly is a real light pearl. Guys, it's a great color. Great clear water color. For y'all guys that's up north that's fishing clear water, I know you have a lot of clear water up that way. It's going to get clearer down here as we go along. Right now we're about 1.5 feet, 18 inches to maybe 2 foot visibility. We're getting close to that. If it's raining today and it's calling for rain tonight and all day tomorrow, surprise. And then the wind's supposed to blow at 20 plus tomorrow, 20-25 miles an hour. Yeah. That sound like y'all's weather? And tomorrow's Friday. And then I'm making this for this coming Sunday. And then I think Saturday it's not too bad, but next week the wind's going to be better on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm going to try to get back Monday and Tuesday. Guys, I try to load a video every Wednesday and Friday. I tell you, if I have one for Friday, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'm skipping. The weather means a lot. If I don't get able to get out and fish from the weather, I can't make videos. And fishing in the wind, y'all know how that is. That's tough. When it's over 10 miles an hour, it's tough, isn't it? All right. And I don't have any brakes. I watched some people talk about that last night on YouTube, and I think they would be a great help on windy days. I really think that's the only time they'd be some great help. And in open water. Here in about another 2 weeks, they wouldn't help me. They wouldn't help me till October, because I'll be fishing docks, right? Brush piles. Spot lock's my best friend then. All right, guys, y'all know the rules. It's 1 to 400. You must be a subscriber. Hit that subscribe button. Y'all notice my subscribers are growing, so I appreciate that. So if you're new, you hit that subscribe button. You leave a number, 1 per household. Okay. Now, if you have a kid that's over 18 or something like that, and he happens to be living with you, he can leave a number. All right. That's how we've been doing it fairly. All right. So you leave your number. If I'm gonna hit a random number draw on Wednesday night, let's say it gives me 200, and you have 201, and somebody has 198. The 198 will win. You can't go over the number. That keeps in case we have somebody each side of the number. And guys, that's happened before. So we've been doing that since the beginning. We've had no problem with that by doing it that way. You can't go over the number. All right. Now, I'll film myself on Wednesday night doing that, and that's when if I have something to share with y'all, I do. Maybe a new color or something I'm playing around with. I'll share that on Wednesday night. I load that video on Thursday morning. So you get a Sunday's video. Did you leave a porter catch that you leave a number on? You get a video on Wednesday, the fun watch, like I loaded today. Excuse me, I said today was Thursday. I'm way off. I'm lost. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, guys, it's been a rough week. I've been painting on a house this week, and I done some other stuff this morning at a house, and so the rest of the week I'm going to spend in the shop. Today is Wednesday. I'll make that video tonight for last week's video, which is JB. All right? And we'll see who wins. Now, if you win, and I come back and comment to you, hey, you won this week, email me your address. I will try to find it. If you've ordered from me within the last 2 months, I can find you. If you haven't, I got to go way back to the archives, and it's not easy. And, you know, that way I know I'm sending it to the right person, too, if you email me your address. Okay, some of y'all will order, and then you put down a different shipping date address. I'm sorry. On your order, and your shipping address will be different from the home address. So, yeah, you win. I'm like, where do I send it? All right, guys, appreciate y'all. If you haven't tried out Slayer, like I say, you can tell it's a great clear watercolor. You might want to give it a try, okay? I'm going to go ahead and make up some more. I'm going to shoot this a couple more rounds. I think I got enough to shoot at least 2 more times. So I'll make up about 20 bags here, getting ready for y'all. So after y'all watch this video, hey, I know the orders are going to come in. Dennis, Fishing Lake Country. Hope you enjoy the catching after this. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your orders from Lake Country Baits. Appreciate it. If you've never been on Lake Country Baits, check it out. See ya. Alright. Oh, wow. Alright, guys. Bam. Look at that shell cracker. I'm seeing these fish back here. I figured they was either crappie or shell crackers. Isn't that a nice one? I thought, I am going to try to catch one of them. That's a monster. All right, this is when I wish I had the, I need to go to the little fat minnow. This is when I wish I had those little, I don't know if I got any with me or not. I don't think I do. The little mini shad. Because that was my game plan. When the shell crackers started moving shallow, and I could find some of them, I wanted to use that little mini LC shad on them. I know a lot of y'all are buying them, and they're perfect for shell crackers, or for your grandkids to catch sunfish off the boat dock, right? Oh, this might be a little bit bigger. All right, guys, this is the first decent crappie I've caught. And this is about a 9 3/4. Yeah. I have caught a bunch. What do I do with my pliers? You know, I move my pliers. Oh, there they are. They're there. I move them sometimes and I lay them down, and that's what gets me in trouble. I don't put them back. There you go. My dad used to get me when I was a kid. I'd get these tools and not put them back and couldn't find them, right? I do it to myself now. Slayer. I've seen a bunch of fish and they would run from me. This is the first one I've caught. And I think sometimes it's the time of day. I've been here about 2 hours. I'm gonna hit my spotlight. It's probably gonna spook them. But if you can see, it's a couple right here. Y'all can see from the pollen. Guys, sometimes I have a hard time seeing my depth finder myself. Sometimes I point something out to y'all and show you the depth finder, and some of you go, well, I can't see it. Well, it's hard for me to get really close to it, and sometimes I don't see it as good as I want to, and I'm standing right up here looking at it. I had somebody ask me the other day about getting the depth finder, and they asked me, what size would you get? I said, the biggest thing you can afford. If you can afford a 16, get a 16. But I wouldn't get anything smaller than a 12 or a 10. I'm gonna tell you what, when it gets smaller, they're coming at me now. When you get smaller, it's harder to see your bait. I fished with Sam. Y'all done seen that video. I had my 9, and we was throwing at some fish on some brush. I got hung up like twice, never to get a bite. He said, here, look at my depth finder. I stepped up where I could see his depth finder, caught a fish the next cast. Because I could see my bait. When you're fishing over brush, it helps. When you're fishing like this and you know what area the fish are in, that helps. If you can get a glimpse of your bait once in a while, what depth it is, that helps. All that makes a difference. It's going to make you more productive, okay? Now, I'm coming past these fish a couple times. And this is a different group, and I caught the one I love. And they hadn't made a move. All right, guys, I got another one. I want to tell you, when the fish are not biting, and they're not interested, and they disappear. I've seen more fish in the last 10 minutes than I've seen all day. Now, I've been moving around a lot. I've been searching a lot. You know, that's what you got to do sometimes, too. That's a good one here. Oh, boy, you're fatter than I thought you was. Probably shouldn't have tried that. Both flipping them on 4-pound test. That's why I net a lot of them, guys. I use 2 and 4. I got 4 and everything right now. I'm gonna go back to 2 on that one rod. I might do that this week for fishing docks. It's because it skips better. That's a nice fish there. Now again, this is called Slayer. This color. That's a nice fish. That's a good 12 and a half. Now, this color is blue boy. It's a light blue boy back. And you can see it's got a lot of blue sparkle in it. Okay, I put a lot of glitter in it. Sometimes it varies. Now, guys, I put that on my site. I say this once in a while. Because if you buy a pack and you buy another pack and you go, that blue's a little darker. I cannot make it. I can say it. I cannot make it exactly the same every time. One drop of blue changes everything. So if you're dripping it in there, y'all watch people make baits, and you're going 1, 2, 3, I want 3 drops. Oh, there was a half a drop. It's going to make a difference. I've tried to scoop them out before and everything else. But here's what I do promise you. I promise you this. It's not going to make that big of a difference to the fish. A little shade of blue darker, a little lighter, usually don't make that much difference. Now, I had a guy tell me this one time. Oops, I hit my spotlight. I had a guy tell me one time, he said, I like buying baits from a maker like you because they're never the same. He said, if I buy 3 bags, a bag here, a bag a week, he said, one of them be a little darker like. He said, and I can pick from them. When the water's real clear, I'll go with a lighter one. When the water has a little more dense to it, I'll go with the one that's the same color you're supposed to be, but it's a touch darker. I said, yeah, we can't make them. He said, no, because you're not a computer. When you're buying baits out of the store, guys, they're made with a computer. And that's on YouTube too. You can find that, what machine is making them. And they're pumping out a 55-gallon drum. I'm doing a cup or 2 cups at a time. It's a big difference. And I'm measuring glitter in little spoons. It's a big difference, guys. They measure their coloring in a cup. They say, okay, this one gets 12 ounces of coloring. Yeah, and they dump it in there. You watch the video how they do it. Yeah, they're going to get theirs more precise. And that 55-gallon drum, a half ounce of coloring ain't going to make a whole lot of difference, right? In a cup, a half a drop makes a huge difference. I haven't checked my battery for a while, so I hope it don't quit on me. I've been too busy running around hunting for fish. Oh, that's not a bad one. I'm telling you guys, I'm not seeing any of those big ones like we were seeing a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of it is, like I said earlier, I think a lot of them are spawned. The water's 62. Everything I've watched other folks talk about, all just different things. It's around 60, 50. They said 58 to 60, they start moving to thinking about spawn. We've been 62 now for off and on 2 weeks, off and on. And I've caught them really shallow. But I've been in the back of the pockets. Anywhere I find a little trash, there's males. The only way I can find anything that's 10 inches and bigger is in this open water. So that's what I'm doing. I was here the other day. Y'all probably watching the video and say, hey, Dennis, you was right here. I was. I made a video here the other day. I can't remember what I made. I think with the tracers. When I was throwing the swim bait and catching with the tracer, I was right here. I'm still on the creek I live on, guys. It's windy today. It wasn't supposed to be but 5 miles an hour. I guarantee you it's 8 or 10. Gusting a little bit. Some places I can't fish because the wind is just beating me. But I want to share something with you. When I mention something about the live scope, I'm not an expert. Go on the Garmin Guru. Now I say that a lot. Some of y'all commenting that maybe I ought to dig a little deeper into the live scope. I'm not going to do that because I'm not an expert. All right. Actually, I'm not an expert at anything. With the old saying, jack of all trades, expert at nothing. He was watching him last night. He had a video he just loaded. It was on Spotted Dog. So it was 4 guys talking about the live scope. One of them was a pro fisherman, and it was him and a couple other guys. And they was talking about the best colors and pollen. It's an hour and 30 minutes. I watched the whole thing. Y'all need to watch it. There's some good information in there. And he's right. He said if you're having trouble with the pollen, go to the midnight blue. Also, he said, cut the backlight on, the night light on. It makes it pop even more. Bam. So when I tell y'all something like that, I'm sharing a little tidbit that I picked up. I'm not an expert. I learned from somebody else. I'm sharing something with you I learned from him most of the time or somebody else. Go to the Garmin Guru's channel. He's got all kinds of information in there. I'm not going to show you what to do this and do that because I'm not an expert. He is. Go on there and watch his channel and learn. But I'm just sharing a little tidbit with you that I learned from there. Trying to get you encouraged a little bit. You might want to check him out. I don't know him. Never met the guy. He's kind of like Santa Claus. Never met him. But I watch his channel because he shows stuff at the Death Finder. And it's 2 or 3 times I didn't know something. I kept searching. I kept watching videos for an hour before I found what I was hunting for. He's got the information out there if you want it. You just got to dig for it. Something on the bottom there. Way out here. But I went to this blue. See there? It could be white perch. I've seen a lot of white perch. But the blue is pretty good, isn't it? Y'all like that? And I can see my jig better. I've been struggling today to see my bait. And why that's important is when you open water fishing. Now, I just lost a fish before this one. I just showed you. He was at 45 feet, and I threw and started reeling. He was like 3 foot. I went 1, 2, 3, and I started reeling. He hit it, and I lost him. Sometimes I don't look for my jig, okay? I cast old school, count it down, take off. But when they're like 5 or 6 feet, it helps you if you can see your jig and know that you have it above him. If you have him below him, you might catch him. I have seen a crappie go down and get my bait. I have seen him drop down, come back and get it. I have seen that. But they don't do that very often. All right, guys, I cut the camera off. Looked out there, was one at 45 feet. I threw it, and I could see my jig following this time. This blue is helping. Well, he's at 45 feet. He's about 9.5. Look, I'm not going to complain. I think I've caught some babies today. I mean, I've caught some I know had milk on their lips. They wasn't but 4 or 5 inches long. One of them, I bet you'd be lucky if he was 4 inches long off some brush piles. And there's about 9. That's about it. He probably 8 3/4 to 9. But he was at 45 feet. If I had 45 feet, it's hard to tell. I knew he wasn't a monster but I knew he wasn't a baby, so I threw at him. I'm not that particular, guys. Bam. They're all about the same size, guys. He's about right at 10 inches, 9.5, 10 inches. And so I think this is a male. There's no eggs in this fish. Like I said, I think they're trying to spawn. He's probably been on the bed. He's out stretching his legs now. He said, I'm going to stretch my legs a little bit. I'm tired of laying on that bed. I'm hunting for that kicker to end this video with. Y'all know usually I try to put a decent fish at the end. That don't work all the time. Oh, this is a good one now. He ain't a monster, but he's a good one. Guys, I'm sitting a little bit at the same spot the last fish. I did turn the boat around. I made like a circle because I really want to hang out in this corner close to this cove right there. And it's a little bit of a spawning cove behind me. But I've always done better from where I'm at now over to the mouth of that cove when I fish this area. There you go. He's not a bad fish. He's probably 10.5, 10.75. No, he ain't no. He's 10.5, 10.25. Okay, this is the Slayer color. Again, it's a light pearl belly, and it's got a blue boy back. It's in the LC shad. Can y'all see it there? All right, it's in the LC shad. Okay, if it's got a different color tail, it's under hot tails. People ask me this a lot. Where's Grenada Bug? They're emailing me. Where's Grenada Bug? Grenada Bug has a pearl white tail, so it's under hot tails. Okay, it's under tail colors. All right. If it's got a tail color, that's where it's going to be. This is winter. See, it's got a tail color. It's going to be under hot tails. That's right. I pulled that out. I was going to fish that today. And I laid that one out here in Slayer. My choice after seeing the watercolor. And I started off with Slayer, and y'all seen the rest of it. I've caught a bunch of fish. I just haven't caught many decent fish. And you're going to see most of the bigger fish. Might show you one of the small ones so you can see what I'm talking about, because I've got some babies. All right? I'm not ashamed to say I can catch the little ones. I got a video coming up. Y'all going to see where I was fishing with Sam. You'll see it before you see this video. You won't see this one until on Sunday. And I'm going to show you that one on Wednesday. We caught a lot of fish, but we caught a lot of 8 to 10 inch fish. And that's the same problem I'm having today. It's during the spawn, and that's common for during the spawn. Those females can be tough to catch. And so I will show you some of them. And I didn't catch many big fish that video. I caught a couple 10.5s and 11. I think 11 inch fish probably. Maybe 11.5 is the biggest fish I caught. Sam caught three or 4 good fish. I mean, up to about, biggest one might have been 13.75, 14 inch fish. And he caught them all on a Chaos too. When we loaded the boat that day and was talking at, getting ready to go home, I left my truck at the bait shop. It's a bait shop about 1.5 miles from the, if it's that far, probably a mile at the most, if it's that far from Bobcat's Lake Country Bait Shop, guys. He sells my bait, so if you're ever in the area, check him out. He's got swim baits, he's got willow tails, and so I just left my truck there. I stopped to see if he needed anything, made a list of what he needed, and I said, hey, can I leave my truck here? He said, yeah. So, because you got to pay at the boat ramp to park your truck or put a boat in. So Sam buys a season pass. So I said, oh, that's good. There's a Crappie fisherman, it's a Sea Arc. I've seen him out here quite a few times. So we ride back up to where my truck is, and I said, you caught all the bigger fish. Yeah. He said, did you catch on to something? I said, what? He said, I caught them all in the Chaos 2 Virginia shad color. I said, you did, didn't you? I said, no, I didn't put that together while we was fishing. He said, yeah. He said, the bigger fish wanted that action from that swimming tail, evidently. Because we was casting under docks, the same docks. And he'd pulled out a 12-incher, and then I was catching was 9.5, 10 inches, So there you go. Sometimes action from the bait can draw bigger strikes, too. See, we learn all the time, don't we? Hey, guys, hope you enjoy the Porta Catch. Put your number down, 1 through 400. We're doing Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday night. I'm going to sit down after 5 o'clock, do a random number draw. We'll hit that number, see who wins. Look, if you have an order from me within the last 6 weeks, 2 months, send me your address. All right? It makes it so easy. But email me and give me your address, and I'll mail out to you. I usually mail out on Fridays. If you get with me on Thursday, I'll mail it out on Friday when I go get my Mexican lunch. I'll mail it to you. Hey guys, Dennis, Fish Lake Country. See you next time.